But anyways, back to the important stuff because we cannot wait another week on this one. It is the Western Roundup. As I told you before, I'm your host, Hey Zoop Yellclip,
Who is very tired.
who's very tired. And I'm with the wild man himself, Mason Eisenzimmer. He is eating so much frosting. I don't know how or why, but I'm kind of low key jealous. And now he's drinking an energy tree, a lit tea, at about 9:20 at night. Is that responsible, Mason?
Oh, it is, but I'm not going to bed for another 3 hours.
Oh, I'm going to bed almost as soon as this is over. Don't you
Well,
laugh at me. Dad life is not for the weak.
you know, being around Riley for a weekend, I can understand the stuff you're going through. Although I just can't get the cute image out of my head of her just kind of swimming just in midair. It's just so
What are
cute.
you talking about? Oh, when you're holding her and then she starts kicking and throwing her arms out,
Yeah,
and
and
then
it's just
does
a
the little
slow.
jaunt.
Yeah, it's just a slow little kick in. It's like,
Uh, yeah, it's cute until you have to change diapers, which it isn't bad. But, anyways, it's been 2 weeks. We missed a week, but that's also because, well, life is very hectic at the Pelkey household.
mm-hmm.
So, we are going to go back to September 20th, that Friday. So 2 weeks ago, we're going to recap that a bit. And we had two tracks racing September 20th. The first one was the Big Sky Speedway, which was having the Kelly Hample Memorial, and it was night number one of that. And I'm going to need you to actually plug in some numbers here, not for this one, but for my other races, I will. They had 72 cars attend the first night, 24 late models, 23 Midwest mods, 18 Westsoda Streets, 22 IMCA Sport Compacts, and 9 Big Sky wingless sprints. I think that was their open motor night as well, or that could be coming up.
Yeah, we will also have the second iteration, the wingless open, no motor size rules. So you were correct.
Oh, so cool. So night number one in the Big Sky wingless sprints is Jake Dewitt picking up the feature win with Chris Williams picking up the heat win in the IMCA Sport Compacts. I get this mixed up all the time. Is it Chase or Chaz?
I don't know. Because I have my
Ch
best friend's name is Chaz, but it's with a Z.
let's go with Chase then.
Okay.
Chase Matty going +9 in the feature. He would be followed by Jared. Is it Jared or Gerard? Gerard.
Let's go with Gerard to be different.
Gerard Frick.
And if we get
And
it
then,
wrong, well, frick.
yep. And Jimmy Longton would pick up Jimmy Langton would pick up third after going +3 as well. So Chase would be your hard charger going +9. Kyle Dahlke, Wolfie Gensch, and Gerard would get a heat win for the night. In the Wissota Streets, Robert Petroff would go +5 to pick up the feature win, followed by Dylan Hopp and Troy Seapack Jr. The hard charger would be Preston Johnson going +7 to finish sixth, and your heat winners were Marvin Gonzalez and Troy Seapack Jr. In the MWM SmackDown division, the Wissota Midwest Mods, for those who are not aware of our infatuation of the Grand Rapids Speedway announcer and his titles for divisions. They had 23 in attendance. Troy Liker would go +8 in the feature to hold off a hard charging Scott Tyrell, who went +4, and also hard charging Jeremy Meerhofer, who went +4 as well to get third. Hard charger for the night, though, for them would be Casey Rankin going +12 to finish sixth. And your heat winners would be Troy Liker, Scott Tyrell, and Jeremy Meerhofer. So odd, all of our
Tony
heat
Liker.
winners would what?
Tony Liker, not Troy.
Oh,
Got the heat win.
my bad. Well, Troy, you don't get a broomy. Hmm.
Nope.
No broomy for you. Anyways, going into the main division of the weekend, it would be the Wissota late models. It was the the big name traveler coming in. Don Shaw would pick up the feature win, followed by Lynn Amick and Dylan Price. Hard charger would be DJ Baxter finishing fourth after going plus 10. And then it in the heats, it would be Don Shaw picking up a heat win, Lynn Amick, and Dylan Price as well. So going one, two, three there. And Don would get the ultimate broomy as he would pick up the fast qualifier as well as the heat win and the feature win. He would turn in a qualifying effort of 14:34.4. So
If we got stickers made, I could deliver it to him next week if you like.
to Don,
Yeah.
I think that would be his pride and joy in his trailer.
An ultimate brewy from the Western Roundup of the Track Packers podcast.
You'd be like, what is this? Just throw it away. This is spam.
I'll put it on the side of his trailer because I think he has that ramp trailer.
Oh, okay. Well, going on to the next track, it would be Idaho Falls. So Mason, let's see, that's going to be 21:35. They had, I'm assuming, 48 cars in attendance. Now, there are some classes we're not covering because I'm not doing karts. And as amusing and entertaining as it looked on King of the Hills, I will not be covering the lawnmowers.
You're correct on car count, by the way.
So they had 48 in attendance. Outlaw Mini saw Tom Gallagher going +8 for the feature win. Jerry Bailey went +4 for second. Rick Lee would go to third. Tom Gallagher and Rick Lee would get a heat win, giving Tom the broomy for the night for the Outlaw Minis, who had, let's see, 10 of them, 10 Outlaw Minis in attendance, 7 street stocks, and that's Leo Haslam get a broomy as he would pick up the heat and feature win, and the other heat would go to Josh Olson. In the Northern Sport Mods, they would have 4 in attendance, and there would be another broomy as B.J. Haslam. Is it Haslam? Haslam?
I think you're correct.
Haslam. Well, he would get a broomy as he would pick up the feature and heat win. In the IMCA mods, Cody Malcolm would get the feature win, going +3 over hard charging Ty Clements, who would get second plus the hard charger after going +6. And in third, it was Trake Metz. And it was Cody and Ty picking up heat wins in the 14 car field, giving Cody a broomy. 0 super stocks would show up for the night, so nothing happened. As Mason is being distracted by Maleka.
Keep going.
In the NX Legends, they had a 7 car field. Randall Copeland would get the feature win. The heat win would go to Tom Brown. And in the IMCA Sport Compacts, it was Grayson Anderson taking the feature win over the heat winner, Jaron Dunthorne, and the 4 other cars. So 6 in attendance for them. That would be night number 1 for their weekend as well. So going into Saturday, September 21st, let's go with the Big Sky Speedway Kelly Hample Memorial Night number 2. They actually picked up another late model, and they had 28 or 25 late models, 18 mods, 22 Midwest mods, 18 streeters, 24 sport compacts, and 10 wingless sprints. It would be Chris Williams picking up the wingless sprint feature. The heats would go to William Hernandez and Harrison White. In the sport compacts, it was Chase Matty going +12 to get the win. Kyle Dalkey would go +6 for second, and Gerard Frick would give it a great effort going +7 to get third. The hard charger would go to Troy Wenninger. Wenninger?
Yeah, Wenninger, I think.
Wenninger. He went +15. So he would finish eighth. The heat wins would go to Kobe Noble Zeiler, Douglasburg, and Gerard Frick. In the street stock division, it was Tracy Pack Jr. picking up the feature win after going +3. Dylan Hope would go +6 for the feature to get second. And Caden Craver would go to third after starting sixth. And the hard charger would be Bob Gordon finishing 10th after going +7. CPAC would get a broomy as he would win the heat race as well, along with Dylan Hupp and Caden Craver. Again, 1, 2, 3. Very interesting. In the Midwest mods, Troy Liker would get the feature win after starting fourth. He would hold off Jeremy Meerhofer, who started fifth and finished second, and Connor Frisk would get third after starting seventh. The hard charger would go to Chandler Ingle, who went +8 to finish 11th, and your heat winners would go to Troy Liker, Jeremy Meerhofer, and Connor Frisk. Odd, 1, 2, 3. But that would give Troy another broomy. In the IMCA mods, it was Eddie Kirchhoff picking up the feature win after starting in the second row. Jeremy Meerhofer would go +5 to finish second, and after starting 10th, Jason George would finish third. Heat winners would go to Dale Neitzel, Eddie Kirchhoff, and Travis Davis, giving Eddie a broomy. Now the big one of the night, the big feature where all the emotion and excitement was aimed for. It was the Wissota late models, and it was Lynn Amick, Mr. Consistency of the weekend. We could call him, picking up the big feature win, going to first place after starting third. But a real talker of the night and the weekend would be Ty Hample after he would go +21 to get second. That is a hell of a drive.
I think he had some motivation with the number on his car that day.
Yeah, just a little bit. Um, Rocky
Rock to
Rock
Dagley, sorry.
Degley. I wanted to call him Rocky. Rocky Degley. I'm sorry, Rock. I'm tired. I am mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted, much like all these late model drivers must have been. He would go +10 to get third. It was Jeremy Castro, Don Shaw, and Logan Dawson picking up the heat winners. And your quick time would go to Jeremy Castro, who laid down a lap of 14.748, a little slower than the previous night, but that's to be expected after a full night of racing prior. So still a very good time.
Yeah, very good turnout for late models that weekend too.
Yeah, to get 25, and mainly all of them were from that general area. So that's good to see that there's that many late models out there.
Yep, very good payout as well. So definitely a great
Yep.
weekend there.
Yep. An excellent weekend over at the Big Sky Speedway. Now let's kick it over to Idaho Falls for their championship night. Let's see how many we got off the top of our head here. That's going to be 20, 31, 44 cars in attendance, I'm assuming, excluding all the lawnmowers and goat carts and side-by-sides and the
Yeah.
shopping carts and everything else that they had racing.
Yeah, I had to do some math too. And I'm like, oh geez, now I gotta do math.
Anyways, the Outlaw Minis had 8 in attendance. Is really Crandall picking up a broomy as he won the feature in heat, along with Braxton Crandall, who got a heat win as well. In the street stocks, it was Zach Johnson taking the win over the 7-car field. Heat winners would go to Dakota Arave, and Leo Haslam. In the 4 cars Northern Sport Mod division, it was BJ Haslam taking the feature win, and Brock Ashbacher picking up the heat win. In the IMCA mods, it was Cody Malcolm picking up where he left off the night before, getting another bromie and holding off the hard charging Ty Clement, who started 7th and finished 2nd. Tyson White would finish 3rd, and Charlie Johnson would pick up the other heat win. Super Stocks division, nothing happened as nobody showed up. In the NX Legends, Randall Copeland would get the feature win, and that would be his 2nd for the weekend, as Kyle Holter would get the heat win. And in the IMCA Sport Compacts, it was Geron Dunthorne picking up the feature win, and Grayson Anderson picking up the heat win. And that would be the end of that weekend. Moving on, but last weekend, Sheridan Speedway held their Fall Classic on the 27th, night 1. Mason, I'm going to need you to do the numbers because I'm too tired to do this. I'm lost.
107 cars.
What? How many?
107.
107. All right. In the Mod 4 division, Dean Larson would pick up the feature win after starting 5th. He would hold off Blake Hawker and Shelley Lind. Blake and Rob Arlod would also pick up heat wins for the 13-car field. Braden Brower, looking to pick up points for the national championship, decided to make a little tow out west, and it would pay off as he would go +7 to win the 15-car feature, holding off Caden Craver and Robert Petrov, who went +6. Caden would get the hard charger, a heat win, and the feature win. So, good night for him. He would get what we would consider an ultimate bromie.
I watched the live of his race. That was actually a very good race between him and Caden Craver.
Well, Caden would also pick up the other heat win as well. In the IMCA Sport Compacts, Chase Matty would go +4 and hold off Wolf Gensch and Joe Hudson. Chase would get the bromie as he would take the heat win. In the IMCA mods, they had a good field, 18 cars. It was the Yeager brothers. Now, Mason, is it Jaeger or Yeager?
It's Jaeger. Just because you
Yay.
live near a Yegan road doesn't mean every YEA pronunciation is Ye.
Well, Bryson would get the feature win for the night as Justin would go +8 to finish 2nd, and Corey Craver would go to 3rd. Jerry Martin, Bart Taylor, and Corey Craver would all get heat wins. In the Rocky Mountain Hardtops, it was none other than Matt Brown going +4 for the feature win. He'd be followed by Alex Lukowiak.
Lukawi.
Lukowiak? Lukowiak?
I'm pretty sure it's Lukawi.
Lukowiak? Lukowiak. Well, needless to say, Alex went +4 to finish 2nd. Butch Kennedy would go +4 as well to finish 3rd. Alex and Matt would get the heat wins, giving Matt a bromie for the night. In the NX Legends, it was the traveling Michael King going +3 to finish 1st. Josh Broadbent would go +6 to get 2nd. Travis Wagner would get 3rd. Stuart McKechnie would get a heat win along with Michael King, giving Michael a bromie as well. In the MWM SmackDown, it was Troy Liker defeating a very good and deep field of cars, 33 cars deep, and with no real slouches across anyone in the feature. Troy would go +7 for the feature win, and Bart Taylor would get 2nd. Tony Liker would get 3rd. B-main winner would be Jeremy Cole, and the 5 heat wins would go to Connor Frisk, Bart Taylor, Tony Liker, Matthew Drake, and Mario Berger. So this would complete night 1 of the Sheridan Speedway Fall Classic. Saturday, the 28th, it would be night two of the Fall Classic at the Sheridan Speedway. I didn't even write the numbers down, Mason, so I'll let you can figure this out.
Not counting the quarter midgets, 101.
101, so very good car count. And in the Mod 4s, it was our friend Dean Larson picking up the feature win, holding off a hard charging Tristan Torres and Blake Cocker, who both went +4. Dean would pick up a Brumi as he would get a heat win along with Blake Cocker. In the streets, it was Braden Brower going +7 to hold off Robert Petrov, who went +4, and Caden Craver, who would finish third. Is it Colin or Colin?
I think it's Colin.
Colin Harmon would get a feature win, or not feature, but a heat win along with Braden Brower, giving Brower a weekend Brumi and a well-deserved points boost, as you can say.
I believe that officially clinched the national title for Braden too.
Neat. In the Sport Compacts, Chase Matty would go +9 to defeat Joe Hudson and Wolfie Gensch. Chase and Wolfie would get heat wins, giving Chase a Brumi. In the IMCA Modifieds, it was Jeremy Meerhofer holding up Bart Taylor and Justin Yeager, as the hard charger would be fourth place finisher Bryson Yeager. Bryson and Bart Taylor would both pick up heat wins for the night. And in the Rocky Mountain hardtops, Matt Brown would pick up a Brumi as well, as he took both the heat and feature win. In the Legends, it was Travis Wagner picking up the feature win over Josh Broadbent and Michael King, who would go +6 to get to third, and he would be your hard charger. Josh Broadbent and Travis Wagner would both get heat wins, giving Travis a Brumi as well. And in the MWM division, it was Troy Liker picking up another feature win, holding off Bart Taylor and Tony Liker, who would go +9 from 12th to finish third, and he would be the feature hard charger. The B main would go to Norman Jackson, and the 5 heat race wins would go to Chad Switzenberger, Kenny Bell, Bart Taylor, Troy Liker, and Mario Berger, which means Troy would get a Brumi as well for the weekend, and you could just call it a weekend Brumi. Instead of a weekend at Bernie's, Troy had a weekend of Brumi.
There we go.
And that would catch us up to all the racing. We go into the last week of racing here, Mason. I don't think there's anything left after this, as the Big Sky is hosting their doubleheader final weekend. And I believe Friday is a happy birthday night to the one-armed bandit, whoever that may be. Happy birthday to them.
I don't think it's similar to the one-armed bandit that's over in my neck of the woods, because that's Taylor Grove, and he actually does flagging at the Red River Valley Speedway and Norman County Raceway.
Yep. Well, race ticket prices, from what I saw, will be $20 per night, and I believe the racing starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. In attendance will be the Wissota Late Models, the IMCA Mods, the IMCA Sport Compacts, the NX Legends, and the Open Motored weekend Take Two Big Sky Wingless Sprints. So they should have a really fun weekend, and I bet you would see a couple travelers from the east over there, especially in the Legend division, as everyone is desperately trying to cling on to their leads and their points positions for national points for the NX Legends.
Yeah, because I believe this is one of the last weekends for that. Legend Nationals are the following weekend, so I'm pretty sure this is the last weekend for points there.
Yep. So, well, Mason, that wraps it up.
Yeah, not too bad to miss a week and not feel too far behind at least.
Yeah,
Like
I was pretty happy just going through and only needing 2 pages of notes versus the 5 that I used to always do.
Well, and they should get some travelers, not only in the Legends, but I know there's been some people over in our neck of the woods from the modified division that might make a trip over to Billings as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It'll be a fun weekend for them if they can get that to go. Um, but with that, I think we're going to wrap this up. We'll do a one more week wrap up with for the Big Sky final weekend. So we'll do that next week if we get time, and then we might do a couple other little shows and do a track by track championship roundup type of deal, and then we'll call it a year for the Western Roundup.
Sounds like a plan. Hopefully you get some sleep.
I need it. I'm so I'm yeah, I'm just tired. It's very tiring. But with that, folks, this really is it. Until you go to banquet season, get out there, support the track one more time, and so if you still got money, go get some of the remaining T-shirts and hoodies from the drivers and tracks, and hit the concession stand hard because Lord knows the tracks don't need extra concession stand food after the last race. And yeah, get out there, support the tracks, have a good final weekend to your racing season. Um, and with that, we'll talk to you guys next week.